Radovan. Alright. Found a citizen of Ul'dah in need of a bodyguard. The walls that surround this city remind me of my homeland. We built it as a fortress to keep out invaders. Good. Not that it made much difference in the end. No, it didn't. You have a sad tale of woe. Oh, but not this again. Perhaps you can lighten the mood by sharing our recent bit of good news. Ah, yes. It looks like we found our next client. Nothing's been decided, but a lady named Oriole. Good old Oreo. She must be delicious. Is waiting for us near the Gate of Thaw. We'll meet you there. Shit. That's why it told me to go to the Gate of Thaw. The Google just missed the first step. The first step was the Adventurers Guild. The second step was the fucking Gate of Thaw. And they lied. They didn't tell us that. They didn't tell us that at all. Fucking shenanigans. Alright. You're the bodyguards, right? We need your help. It's my husband. After he walked out, I thought I'd seen the last of him. But now, you've got to keep him away from us. Oh, Jesus, is he a rapist? What the hell is going on? Don't hurt little Timmy. Why the hell does he want to hurt little Timmy? Well, I'm not sure we're qualified to settle domestic disputes. We're just gunbreakers. Radovan, this sounds serious. Hear her out, would you? Very well, my apologies. Please continue. His name's Gerard. He won't leave us alone, and he keeps jumping out to harass us when we're by ourselves. If we were to go outside the city gates, I'm sure he'd follow us, and when he does, I want you to scare him off. I doubt he'll show himself if he sees you have bodyguards, so we'll wait somewhere nearby. When the moment is right, we'll give him a fright he won't forget in a hurry. Yes, that ought to work. Tim and I will leave through this gate, so you should find a hiding place. It's time that bastard, excuse my language, learned his lesson. That piece of shit. Now here's a good question. Is she just trying to run off with little Timmy? Not let his dad know? Because that could be the case too. Either he's a piece of shit, or she's trying to kidnap little Timmy. One or the other. One or the other. We may never know. Let's see what happens. Remember, we've got the boy to think about. I'd rather not cut a man down in front of his own son, but I will if I have to. You follow my lead. In other words, don't stop me if it comes down to death. Get away from her. I'm a big-ass tiger man. What? Who the bloody hell are you? Friends of Oreo. Now walk away. But I only want what's best for my boy. Your boy? You've got no right to call him that. He belongs to me. Whoa, like a slave? This is your final warning. Bother them again, and you won't live to tell. That'll teach him. And she thinks it's funny as shit, too. And you were wonderful. Worth every gill. See, she seems shady, doesn't she? It was our pleasure. I don't know that it was. I feel like she's shady as fuck. We don't really know what's going on here. I'm a little concerned, especially since little Timmy didn't tell us a fucking thing. Although there wasn't much for you to do, your presence lent weight to my words, but most importantly, the client was satisfied with our work. Yes, she did seem rather pleased with herself. Listen, you two, there's no time to explain. We have to follow that woman. See? That bunny girl's got the right idea. When Sophie gets one of her hunches, you better pay attention. Just her shit's on point. Hell yes. Time to go. Radovan and Drybone. We're just gonna teleport because I'm lazy. Not really. I just want to maximize time because I don't get to play and stream for long periods of time, so I teleport to make it quick. Oh, that's the levy, dude. We don't need those. We don't need those. Not here. Not today. Why would she bring little Timmy all the way out here? Well, I don't know. It's pretty far from where the hell we were. We're going to find out. What are we supposed to do with a runt like this? We feed him up. He might be worth something. See? Slave. She's selling her own child? Didn't I say she acted like... She sounded like she was talking to him like he was a slave? Wasn't that wild? Enough of this. Stay away from my son. Son. Ha! You should have kept out of this. Too late now. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't really care a whole lot which parent it is we help. I really don't. I'm more concerned about if we let this kid get screwed over. Not now. Claspon, it's up to you. Radavin's fucked up, apparently. He's having an episode. Oh, yeah. Fucking Gunbreaker your ass is down to nothing. You can't handle it. You never can handle it. It's always too much for them to handle. The Gunbreaker's just too good. Boom. Dead. Dead. With a quickness dead. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It is fantastic. Then we get our cartridge combo. Boom. They can't handle that. They can't handle it at all. They just get smoked. Why is she crying? Because she missed out on selling her kid? You saved us. How can I ever... Daddy! Look, little Timmy does know how to talk. First word he said this whole time. Claspon, I let you down. I let everyone down. But Sophie, what happened here? I knew from the moment I met Oreo there was something not quite right about her. It wasn't until later I realized she's a somnus addict. Oh, she's a junkie. She was able to keep her addiction hidden from most, but not from me, and probably not from her friends and family either. Yes, I've known for a while, but I had no idea she'd do something like this. Gods, if I hadn't started gambling, this never would have happened. My debt spiraled beyond my control, and she ran to get away from me, to start a new life with our son. A new life of addiction? What the hell? The shock of losing them made me realize I couldn't live like that anymore, so I vowed to turn my life around, and I worked my fingers to the bone to repay the money I owed. But by the time I finally found the courage to track down Oreo, it was too late. I'd kicked my addiction, and she'd picked up one of her own. She made new friends, the wrong sorts of friends, and had to resort to God's only way to make ends meet. It became too much to bear, and Somnus was her only escape. Nothing else mattered to her, not even her own child. So you see, it wasn't only my life I'd ruined. I made her who she is today. Well, that's a fucking shame. What a sad story. What will you do now? I plan to send her to Frondale's to rehab. They can treat people like Oreo, although it costs more than most folks can afford. My savings should cover it for a while, at least. We'll take it one day at a time and see how she responds to the treatment. I know she might never recover, but I can't give up on her. Obviously, she's in no fit state to look after little Timmy, so he'll be living with me. Well, that's probably the best possible outcome so far. You could have been killed confronting those slavers. If you wind up dead, there'll be no one to look after the boy. From now on, you'll have to think before you act. Use the fucking noggin. Use your think box. I will, I swear it. Thank you all. Well done. Good job for kicking your addiction, for preventing your son from being sold into slavery, and trying to put your son's mom through rehab to make her better. Good job. The poor child, Sophie's quick thinking may have saved him on this occasion, but I fear his hardships are far from over. I, on the other hand, only succeeded in disgracing myself. It's not your fault, Radivin. I think you owe Claspon an explanation, though. Yes, if we are to fight side by side, there's something you should know. Though I served as an Imperial conscript for a time, after I disobeyed a direct order, I was sentenced to solitary confinement for more than a decade. Holy shit, that's a long time. Like many of the inmates, I was subjected to torture. The wardens could use them to administer a severe electric shock anytime they pleased, and please them it did. The paralysis would eventually wear off, but even after years of removing the collar, my whole body will suddenly seize up. It's as though the pain never left me and could reawaken at any moment. Like fucked up nerve damage going on. That makes sense? That makes sense after being electrocuted like that? Thankfully, my condition appears to have improved somewhat since leaving the Empire. Perhaps one day I will be free of it, but until then, there's no telling when it might strike. I may just have spasms and collapse. Radovan saved my bacon more times than I can count, so it's only fair that I do the same for him. We've been through thick and thin ever since the first time we met. I was awaiting execution along with the other captured members of the Resistance, as well as various insurgents and undesirables. Among them were several Somnus addicts. Even in an Imperial goal, there are ways to get your hands on it. When I saw Oreo, I couldn't put my finger on it at first, but she had the same look in her eyes as those lost souls. Anyway, where was I? So Radovan had been meaning to escape ever since he was first imprisoned and was secretly digging a tunnel a few elms each night over the course of about 10 years. That is a fucked up evil looking grin, isn't it? The only thing was, it went the wrong way. Then one night, he suddenly burst through my wall. Why did you have to tell him that? You know I'm far from proud of my miscalculation. Well, things worked out in the end, didn't they? The other inmates made such a racket when you came crashing in, it drew the attention of the wardens, and all hells broke loose. In the confusion, Radovan and I forced our way past the guards, and by some miracle we managed to avoid their searchlights, and finally we were free. Free to return to my wife and child, to my homeland, or so I thought. While I'd been rotting away in a Garlean cell, everything I knew, everything I loved had been taken from me. I should have been there, but I couldn't even... I'll look at him all sad, but the bunny girl's like, motherfucker, look, you're supposed to love me now. God, enough of this. We've spoken ever long. I think I've had my fill of Ulda. What say we try our luck in Limsa? I'm not sure a change of scenery will do us any worse. Yes, like the sound of that. Let's reconvene at the local Adventurers Guild. So the tiger guy and the bunny girl, they built a relationship on some rocky grounds of some form or another. I'm not gonna lie either. I think that making my character a gunbreaker looks pretty fucking good. It looks pretty fucking good. It might look really silly if it was like a bigger race, right? But being a cat boy, it looks pretty good. I think big, huge, bulky weapons would look funny on him. But since I wanted to be a ninja, I wanted to be sure I made him something that would be similar. What the hell is this? Oh, shall we dance? That's the dancer thing. We're not doing that. Oh yeah, we're gonna go to the Adventurers Guild. So we need the what is it, the aft castle? I wanted to call it the aft deck because it's a big ass boat, not a castle. But whatever, call it what you want. Aft castle it is. Oh, coffee. A city founded by pirates? Now there's a terrible idea if ever I heard one. With all the cutthroats running rampant, I'm surprised there's anyone left. Well, that's because of us ninjas. We're the shit. Really, they're rogues, and then they become ninjas if they so desire, I guess. But what about the views? The sea breeze? There will be plenty of time to enjoy ourselves once we've a few more gil in our pockets. Claspon, we're still waiting word from the guild, so perhaps you should find somewhere for a few practice swings in the meantime. Alright, fucking wait. They can wait a long time, too. You'll be pleased to hear that the Yellow Jackets has offered us an assignment. After taking on more than we'd bargained for with our previous clients, We're hoping this one will turn out to be relatively straightforward. We haven't heard what it entails yet, but I'll bet it's something important. A man called Futag Yafutag, holy shit, that's a messed up name, has arranged to meet us in Bulwark Hall. Let's go and see what he wants. Okay. Jesus Christ, just don't make me say his name ever again. So it's just down the elevator, I think? Yes. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure that's where it was at. Like, I don't know what the Adventurers Guild is called in this place. But I guess it's where we were. So it wouldn't have been there. Thank you for coming at such short notice. Time is of the essence, so I'll be brief. We want you to protect Goldweights. We want you to protect Goldweights, who was, until recently, leader of the Flaming Mongrels. I wasn't trying to grab things. Alright, I had it where I liked it. They were once a gang of raiders, but eventually settled in Limsa to extort and rob their way to a position of considerable influence in the criminal underworld. That all ended when Goldweights turned himself in. No one saw it coming, not even the other flame mongrels. He's due to give testimony in exchange for a reduced sentence, and not just about the crimes he committed himself either. All of the gangs he's had dealings with have ample reason to silence him before he spills his secrets. He's currently being held in the Morby dry docks. Our job is to see that he reaches Limsa in one piece. So you want us to act as bodyguards to a criminal? I don't like the sound of that. It's an escort duty. It's different. You're escorting a prisoner. We'd be protecting the information that's in his head, which could be used to bring countless other lawbreakers to justice. It sounds like a worthwhile cause to me. It is, and before you ask why we're hiring outsiders, it's to avoid attention. If I pull too many yellow jackets from their posts, the gangs will figure out what's going on. Better to give the impression that it's business as usual while professionals like you escort him in secret. We still need to secure the route, so I'll go on ahead and see to the preparations. Come and find me at the dry docks when you're ready. Alright, I guess you just don't recognize me as one of the many rogues who you guys had a problem with before because the leader of the Yellow Jackets doesn't like them. Before we begin, we should find out more about this Goldweights. While it's important to place our trust in the client, I don't want to repeat the mistake we made last time. Well, I don't blame you. You really thought that lady was all well and good. But me and the bunny girl, we had other thoughts about that lady. You just apparently didn't think that the customer was going to possibly also be the fucking problem. If the rumors are true, the Flaming Mongrels are involved in most of the money lending and extortion that goes on in this city. Goldweights was at the center of his web, overseeing every aspect of these clandestine activities. Now that he has finally found the decency to give himself up, I imagine that his former associates would rather he kept quiet concerning their dealings. Well, of course he would. That's common sense. Oh yes, everybody has heard of the Flaming Mongrels. Their modus operandi is to offer loans, increase the interest to the extent that their mark has no hope of ever paying it back, and then forcing that poor soul to obey their every whim. You mean extortionary lending? Or, just typically what goes on at places like payday loans? This sounds about right. And it's not like banks don't do that or anything, right? By offering people loans they have no hope of fucking affording ever. I am not at liberty to discuss an ongoing investigation. I can say, however, that many Yellow Jackets believe heartless curs like Goldweights deserve nothing less than death. He and his rogues have left only tragedy and despair in their wake. Mercy would be a waste. Well, that's why we need his information, right? Like, duh. What's going on here? And now we know why you guys aren't handling this yourselves. but instead leaving it to outsiders. Yes, I heard useful things. Would you like me to share? Yes, it's just as that silly bastard said. Goldwaite certainly has a lot of enemies on both sides of the law. Radovan, it's not too late to refuse. Think about what you're doing. Trust me, I have. Now, let's say no more on the matter. We have a job to do. She just doesn't want to help a criminal out. She's okay with the criminal dying. I understand. Like, it's not something that's like, oh yeah, let's keep criminal alive who we don't like at all for whatever reason. Like, it's not that simple. There's more nuance to it than that. You gotta have him alive so you can get information so that you can stop the other pieces of shit from getting away with more heinous deeds that are villainous in some way or another. This is really all it is. All set? Good. Then it's time to bring out the prisoner. Do it. I present Goldwaits, Scourge of Limsa Lominsa. His life's in your hands now. Thank you kindly. Are you sure you've got the right man? Quite sure. Now listen carefully. This is important. We've scouted the road ahead and we've spotted a group of unsavory figures lying in wait. The plan is to put them down and rush past before anyone realizes what's happened. Well, if that's how you'd prefer us to handle it, then very well, but we'll need someone to take the lead and cut through their ambush. I'll do it. I choose you for that. I already volunteered. Show me how far you've come as a gunbreaker. Further than you expect. The rest of us will stay close to Goldwaits. Fend off any trouble shitheads that try to flank us. Confusing guy, I give you my blade and my word that I will help protect you and escort this man to safety. We're depending on you, Claspon. Once you've cleared a path, we'll be right behind you. We'll regroup at Ocean's Embrace and assess the situation there before continuing. Alright, where exactly am I going? To the fucking orange marker on the compass like always, dipshit. That's the answer. How foolish of me. How foolish. We'll get there. We'll go right over here to the destination point and bam, there you go. Clickety click click. Oh, a hired assassin. If you want to try to get your assing over here, I don't give a shit. See if you can take the Gunbreaker combo. Can you withstand my cartridge combo? Not really. Not really. Boom. Give you another cartridge attack there and you're done. Done. There's the next destination. Oh, check the area and there they are. Foolish bastards. Oh no, you two don't even have as much ability to take the damage as the last one did. And he didn't have a chance. What are you gonna do about it? All I do is let my health get a little low and then pop cooldowns to make you feel hopeless. I think it works out fairly well. Like, ah, yes, we're making progress. Oh no, now my hits don't do much damage and you're healing. Fuck! Yes, that's right. That's right. That's how I do it, and that's how I imagine they feel inside while they're getting beat down. Just like that. They can't handle it. And if they can't handle it, that's their problem. A pretty poor attempt at an ambush. Without the element of surprise, they're nothing. Yes, very impressive. But I'll save my thanks until we reach Limsa, if you don't mind. I don't trust this person who just casually strolled up like that. Like nothing's been going on. I bring bad news, I'm afraid. Those men weren't here to ambush you. They were only lookouts. The bulk of the enemy forces lies ahead. We'll take the prisoner to a safe hiding place until the path is secured. What? Why wasn't I informed sooner? Because this lady's not really one of you. We only just received the information ourselves. I'm to take the prisoner into custody while you are to return to your post until further notice. As for the hirelings, their services are no longer required. Yeah, see, they're just trying to get us to leave the prisoner alone so that they can kill him. This isn't... No, don't fall for this shit. Look, if you've got a problem, take it up with Commodore Rainier. No, I won't. I'm not letting this dude out of my sight till we're done. I was paid to escort him all the way to Limsa, and I'm gonna do it. Well, that's that, I suppose. Nevertheless, I'll see that you receive the full amount as agreed. It was a pleasure working with you. I'm telling you, this lady's full of shit. This idiot, stupid ass. Oh, he just goes with it without question. Nobody's gonna question anything. Oh, look, now you realize things don't add up. Surely it would make more sense for shitbag go with them. Yes, it would. Besides, our agreement was to see Goldwaits to Limsa. Exactly my point. Don't let him out of your sight. It looks like the shoe's on the other foot this time, so I can hardly refuse. Come on, before he does something we'll regret. Yeah, apparently I'm the only person who's not fooled by this shit each time. What the fuck? You guys are terrible at reading people. Terrible. Those purple stars look fucking cool. Imagine if we saw like bright purple stars like that in the sky on a regular basis. But we don't even see stars like this anymore. So, I mean, all that, light pollution. It's so important people be able to see at night and keep the boogeyman at bay that we just can't have stars anymore. It's actually just disappointing. It's a reality, but it is a disappointing one. She took him inside. If my guess is correct, there's no time to waste. Nothing for it but to follow him, I suppose. Well, yeah. Obviously. You're the only one here who doesn't want to, lady. Let's get going, bun girl. Stop this at once. Stay out of it, sellsword. My friend's dead because of this filth. He's got no right to live. So why would you protect him? Because I gave my word. Though he may be beyond redemption, he acts not for his own sake, but for the good of others. Told you she wasn't on our side. His testimony will make Limsa a safer place. Exactly. Exactly. He'll face justice. Your revenge isn't justice, though. It hardly ever is. Sometimes, but, typically. Oh, look, the confusing fuck. Thanks to the 12s you got here when you did, it didn't take long for us to find out it was all a ruse, but by then she'd already bought enough time to carry out her plan. Luckily for us, the three of you weren't so easily duped. Well, me and the one dude who got duped last time weren't. Of course, she's not the only yellow jacket to bear a grudge against Goldwaits, but I never thought any of us would go to such lengths to get our revenge. Come on now. That's just gullibleness. You can't be that gullible, can you? I mean, seriously. While we may have been waylaid somewhat, we can still succeed in delivering him safely to Limsa. Well, the truth is I ain't got long to live. Even if I can escape having me head lopped off, the sickness will get me sure enough. Oh, see? He's already dying anyway. You could have lived out your days as one of the leading figures in the underworld, rich and powerful. What made you turn yourself in? The fact that he knew what he was doing was shitty. That's my guess. Since before I can remember, I've been cheating and killing to put food in me belly and gill in me pocket. And I was good at it, too. Worked me way to the top. But to the top of what? A bunch of liars, swindlers, murderers. And when I found out I only have a few moons left, I realized Limsa's the way it is because of people like me. I ain't got to be that way, though. And I can make a better place before I die. In that case, we'd best be off to get you there for your testimony before you decide to kick the bucket and die. Let's see if the Bunbay learns her lesson about trusting people, mistrusting them too, the way that this dude did last time. Not the most direct route, but we got here in the end. All that remains is for Goldwaits to give his testimony. On behalf of the Yellow Jackets, I offer my thanks. You've kept your word. Now it's only my turn. Very well. Man, stuffy nose and it itches like a son of a bitch. Every city has its problems, this one more than most. It's high time we moved on. Seeing as we've moved to Alamigo, Gridania, Ul'dah, and Limsel Menza, that just leaves Ishgard. I don't exactly thrive in cold climates, though. Just get yourself a decent overcoat and you'll be fine. Well then, let's be off. Dude, you're wearing a trench coat. How the fuck are you not good in the cold in a trench coat? You should be perfectly fucking fine. Jesus, this guy. This fucking guy. I was gonna return because that's where I used to have it set to, was Ishgard. Not anymore. Not anymore. We're gonna register this one as a favored destination over Horizon. There we've got all the city-states and Ishgard as our favored destinations for discounts when I'm doing all my off-stream profession grinding. And then we've got Ishgard because it's the other capital, and they'll probably send us here for a bunch of other stuff lately. And then we have Ralger's Reach as our return point, so we've got the 5 we need. I kind of want to set up things for like free teleport destinations, but that means spending dollars. Maybe in the future, but not today. I have no idea how much it costs either. It might be like $1. I think for all I know it's like $1. Who knows? I admit it's a fair bit colder than I was expecting. Not that it's anything to be concerned about. No, it's not, because you're already wearing a fucking trench coat. You're fine. It's easy for you to say, well, yeah, you might need some clothes there, Bunbay, you know. You are wearing a coat too, though. You'll soon get used to it, I'm sure. Anyway, Claspon, it seems that instead of offering work via an adventurer's guild, Ishgard's Temple Knights issue levies. Yes, they do. And if you guys really are cold and need better clothing, I suggest you talk to Tataru. She'll take care of you. Although there do not appear... Holy shit, I read that so wrong. I was like, holy fuck, that's confusing. And it was confusing because I fucked up and read it wrong. Like, completely wrong. Although there do not appear to be any clients in need of protection, it is only a matter of time before something comes our way. Until then, be sure not to let your skills or your gun blade grow rusty. You must keep them both sharp and honed